Hi there, Sherry Schreiber of gettingbetter.com. And I want to talk to you today about a serious matter that is occurring in our society, and probably societies all over the globe, where someone's life can be destroyed by anybody making a simple accusation against them. I've had my own brush with this recently, where a psychology student landed on my website and got her panties in a knot, apparently over something that I wrote about, and complained to the California Board of Psychology about me and actually said I was representing myself as a behavioral psychologist, which has never happened, and that I was misrepresenting myself to the public on my site, on my website at gettingbetter.com. Now, I was lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. This citation that's been waged against me by the Board of Psychology because they think I've been practicing psychotherapy, which is absurd. They don't have a lot of respect for the practice of psychotherapy in terms of getting people well, whole, healthy, happy, content. I'm not saying it doesn't help. If you hit a speed bump in your life and you need to talk to somebody about that and get some input and insight. But in my experience, it's never gotten people well, and it never will. But I was lucky because I was heading into my retirement when this whole thing erupted. Had it happened, I don't know, 3, 5, 10 years earlier, and I'd been forced to stop working, it would have been a problem for me. But I was lucky because my intention was to retire anyway, and I was moving toward that and taking fewer and fewer clients. But I want to speak to what's going on in the world right now, this Me Too stuff. Somebody makes an allegation against someone, and then you have a litany of people, dozens, maybe hundreds of people coming forward and saying, yeah, that happened to me too. That person molested me. That person was inappropriate with me. Based on somebody's allegation that you've done something wrong. Well, now, when I was a young woman, admittedly, I was very insecure. And in my early 20s, I worked in offices with men who would kind of be flirtatious with me. And I actually found it flattering. I received it in the spirit in which it was intended. I joyfully accepted their attention. I mean, nobody came along and said to me, unless you put out, you're fired. That didn't happen. And I'm sure that's happened to many women, especially in the film industry. Which is why, the expression, the casting couch, came into being. If you don't put out for me, if you don't stroke my stallion ganglion, you're not going to get this gig. You will not be chosen for this part. And, this stuff has gone on. But it's not gone on to the extent that we as a society are sanctioning and condoning this horseshit that's happening now. Well, we're digging deeply into somebody's past because some idiot makes an allegation against us for something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. Poor Kevin Spacey. A very talented man, an enormous talent, is having people come forth that are making statements about him and allegations about him, and maybe some of that's true, but certainly not all of it. Things that happened supposedly years and years and years ago. Well, as I say in one of my other videos, we've all done things when we're younger. We've all done things that we're not particularly proud of, or that if we were being watched, if we were living in a fishbowl and being watched every minute of every day, we might not be as inclined to do. Politicians, oh my God, who wants to run for office anymore? Because there is such a deep, probing, microscopic exploration into everything we've ever done, everything that's ever happened with us or to us in our life. And then that casts a pall over us as somebody who's trying to gain a seat in the government. It's absurd. Let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Should someone be punished because we didn't grow up being taught healthy boundaries, healthy limits, healthy self-esteem, to stop somebody in their tracks that's coming on to us because we fear we won't be liked or we'll be judged or we won't get a job? I used to work for a guy years ago in a restaurant during my bartending years. Yeah, I've done everything from soup to nuts. And he was having sex with one of the other female bartenders. And I wasn't sending out the vibe that I was at all open to that. And I was fired from that job. And I was doing a great job for this guy. So, of course, I applied for unemployment insurance and had to have a hearing, and I won that hearing. But that's sexual harassment. If somebody comes on to you and you say no or no thank you, and you lose out on a job or a gig or an advancement or a promotion because you weren't willing to put out, in other words, that prize of that promotion or that getting that job wasn't worth the price you'd pay to lay down with somebody you didn't want to fuck, that's sexual harassment. But anything else comes under the banner of playtime, pretty much. Men flirted with me in my 20s. I was wearing micro minis to work. Of course they're going to flirt. It's part of the human animal, especially the male animal. You don't want to get flirted with? Wear turtlenecks and long skirts. Now, I'm not meaning to come across as this rigid and this chauvinistic, perhaps. But let's look at how we incite these things in the male animal. There are some assholes on the planet. There are some people that take advantage of their stature. I don't know, maybe this Harvey Weinstein is one of those. Maybe he's really deep down a character with no character and no sense of boundaries. And he's not a very good person. Maybe he has no empathy for other people. But this, this issue of climbing on the bandwagon many years after you feel you've been wronged. Why didn't you tell somebody about it at the time? Why didn't you speak to family members about it? Why didn't you speak to your girlfriends about it? Why did you tell nobody about it? This video was inspired by a gal I was talking to yesterday who said to me, I really respect your opinion. And how do you feel about this whole movement that's happening right now? How do I feel about it? I feel that most of it's a bunch of crap. It's a crock of shit. It has no place in our society. We're going to be, men are becoming so scared. And I've noticed this for years, by the way, about talking to women. Men are becoming so scared to even speak to a woman out in public for fear they're going to be accused of something. This is ludicrous. What happened to human interaction? Why should we be terrified that if we're going to engage socially with somebody, they might lie about us, as this little psychology student did, over a year ago, when she lied to the board about me misrepresenting myself online as a licensed clinician or practicing psychology or psychotherapy. She lied. It's an outright lie. But those outright lies have caused people to lose jobs, have caused people to lose their marriages, their families, their life, their ability to get a job. Those allegations, which many times have no truth whatsoever to them. And yet somebody says, oh, it's a scandal. Oh my God, this man or woman who's working for me, somebody's accused them of this or that. And we got to fire him. We got to let him go. What the fuck is happening to our world, folks? To me, this is disgusting. To me, this has no basis in reality. With social media today, this sort of thing goes on all the time. All you have to do is make up your mind that for whatever reasons of your own, maybe you just need attention. Maybe you just want your 5 minutes of fame in the spotlight. And you tell a lie about somebody and it destroys their life. Is this responsible behavior? No. No responsible human being would do such a thing. These allegations come from personality disordered individuals. Nobody in their right mind who has any capacity for empathy for another human being would tell a lie that has the potential to go viral and destroy their life and livelihood. Nobody normal does this. If you are a normal person and you feel like you've been violated or wronged somehow, you go to the cops about it. You file a complaint. With the powers that be who govern over that person. But you better make damn sure you're telling the truth about them. You better do your research first. And if you don't, and you're just going on hearsay, as this little psychology student, Deb, did, well, you've got an axe to grind. And maybe you're envious, and maybe you're jealous of that other person that you're making up lies against and about. Maybe you feel like you're in competition with that person, and they may foil your chances of becoming a clinician because you're broken and damaged in ways that they talk about on their website. That you resent. And this is your way of getting revenge. To start the ball rolling on something that's really predicated on a big, fat lie. Because you have no character, and you obviously have no empathy, and you don't think of the ramifications of your actions. So anybody who's doing this shit, in my view, is personality disordered. They never think, what if this happened to me? What if somebody spread lies about me? What if somebody said I was a prostitute? What if somebody said I was a murderer? What if somebody said I was a thief? And here you are, this innocent person, trying to do good in the world and being responsive and responsible. And maybe even, like in my case, saving lives along the way. And this kind of crap goes on. We know people in the acting industry, for the most part, are not that balanced. We know this. Why else would they enter into a field where they get to pretend they're somebody else rather than themselves? Where else will we find people who can access emotion, deep emotion, when they're playing a part, but perhaps in their personal life are emotionless, are blocked, can't really be rageful and angry and let themselves accommodate those emotions unless they're playing a part? Are these whole people? I think not. Okay. Well, I'm climbing down off my soapbox now, but perhaps this video will help you think about this issue more deeply. In other words, look at the big picture. If I tell a lie about you because I've got an axe to grind, or I resent you, or I'm jealous of you, or I'm envious of you, or I simply need my 5 seconds of fame, because my life is so empty and dead and meaningless. Well, I'm going to get that attention, aren't I? And I'm going to get it by making untrue statements about you, telling lies about you. Having those lies go viral and destroy your life. For what? Does the punishment fit the crime? I mean, really? Think about it. Get back to me on it. If this video pisses you off, great. That's fine with me. If this makes some sense to you and you think this whole allegation bullshit is way out of proportion, poor Kevin Spacey. Jesus, God. Something he might have done when he was in his 20s. or maybe even recently, but let's not blow it out of proportion. If somebody flirts with you, it's not a crime. Stop making it one. Thank you very much, and bye for now.